So the next guy I also just met earlier tonight, but he tells me he performs in living rooms all over Toronto. Ladies and gentlemen, Joel Edmiston.
All right. Hello. Thank you. Hi. Yep, this is what I'm like. Hi. No, I'm more like this. Yo, what the fuck is up? So, you're all right? You're on board, hey? I have good rapport with you already. I like that. That's cool. I have goodwill. Are you okay? Are you all right? I'm not a stand-up comedian. I just came up here to check on you. Oh, you're good? Okay, goodbye. Get on board with my bits or I actually will leave. I'm like a supply teacher. I actually do feel like a supply teacher a lot on stage. You know, somebody's talking in the front row. I'm like, hey, why are you what you're talking? And they're like, yeah, we're actually having a conversation. And I'm like, okay, nice, okay, there's a stool, okay. But you know, there are the confidence supply teachers as well, the ones that the supply teachers that walk in the room ready to be disrespected. They're like, yep, my name is Pooh. I'm Mr. Pooh. I'll write it on the board. P-O-O. Now shut the fuck up. Open your textbooks. All right. Yeah, fuck yeah. Okay, that's a different character. That's just me. That's what I'm like. All right. We're living in the age of Trump. Whether we like it or not, okay? Yeah, we're in the age of Trump. I was talking to a friend the other day. He was going on about the Trumpocracy, right? Then Trumpocracy this, Trumpocracy that. I was like, hold on. Is Trumpocracy a play on hypocrisy or democracy? He goes, what's the difference? And then a Rage Against the Machine song played and a red light shone on his face. He took a bite of a ham sandwich and spat it in my face. And that guy was Joe Biden. Biden 2020, everybody! I was at a funeral recently. I was embarrassed. I was upset because I was wearing the same thing as the dead guy. I wore a casket. I was talking to a parrot recently. The parrot said, "Hi, I'm Polly." And I said, "Oh, I'm monogamous." But I do like birds. I go to the park regularly and I feed bread to birds. And a woman came up to me recently and she said, "You know, bread is bad for birds." I said, "Yeah, well, candy's bad for kids. I still go to the park and feed that to them." Yeah, I'm from Toronto, but do you guys get Mr. Bean here in Quebec? Do you get Mr. Bean here? Do you understand him? Well, the actor that played Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson, you hear about this? He landed a plane. It's a true story. A pilot passed out, and Mr. Bean landed the plane. That sounds like an episode of that show. He is definitely the reason that pilot passed out. Here's how I think it happened. First of all, I don't know why Mr. Bean was on the plane. I think he might have lost his watch. But anyway, he stumbles on there. He's like, It's like looking under people's hats up and down the aisle. Flight attendant's like, "Get out of the way." And he's like, wanders into the cockpit. The pilot's like, "Oh, this guy again." He's like, "Look, Teddy." Then he goes to take a selfie with a Polaroid camera, sneezes and knocks out the pilot. Does one of those 10 takes, like. presses a button, plane starts to go down. No, not that one. Flight attendant's like, is everything all right in there? Yes, fine, thank you. Grabs the pilot's hat and puts it on. Grabs a little hat and puts it on his teddy bear. Cut to 5 minutes later, he's like bored, like... Ah, my watch! Ends up landing the plane with his thighs while he's like brushing his teeth. And everyone's high-fiving him afterwards. He's got that satisfied grin on. And then he headbutts the Queen. That's my Mr. Bean spec script. Thank you. You better hire me for the reboot. They rebooted Roseanne. They reboot Mr. Bean and he tweets something racist. All right. I got one more story for you and then I'm going to get the fuck out of here, okay? I went to the movies recently. I was on a date. I was excited because I don't typically get dates. And I was in line for a ticket, and this brazen man cuts the line, and he's like, and I go, hey, come on. And he turns around and says, hey, gap teeth, if you don't want to be no teeth, then shut the fuck up. And the worst part of all this is this guy's holding a slice of pizza. He's bringing in outside food. That's against the rules, okay? So I had a lot of things to say to this guy, but the problem is I'm not very good at expressing myself. So this is what I came up with. Oh, yeah? Well, look at you, Mr. Pizza. 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 Look at you, Mr. Pizza! Look at you, Mr. Pizza! Look at you, Mr. Pizza! Mr. Pizza! Look at yourself! Mr. Pizza! Mr. Pepperoni Pizza! Pepperoni Pizza and orange Fanta? Half-drank orange Fanta? Look at you, Mr. Orange Fanta! Look at you, Mr. Pizza! Look at yourself, Mr. Pizza! Look at yourself, Mr. Pizza. No, la, 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 la. Look at you, Mr. Pizza. Look at you, Mr. Pizza. So that shut him up. It shut everybody up. My date, she left after the third look at you, Mr. Pizza. In retrospect, maybe I said it too many times. I don't know. Anyway, thanks very much, everybody. I'm Joel.
Joel Edmiston.